Hi friends, and welcome back to another one of my favorite whole food plant-based recipes that I'm going to demonstrate. But before I get into it, let me just already disclaimer, don't mind the messy table behind me, because there's a time in every mother's life where you have to choose between cleaning up the kitchen or feeding your family. And well, in this case, I'm opting to feed my family and teach you how to feed your family some fun, interesting plant-based recipes. So this recipe, here's all the ingredients. It was inspired by one of my favorite vegan recipe websites called Minimalist Baker. I've slightly modified it, but overall it is delicious. Adds a nice little spark to any type of dish that you would want to put cheese on. So this is going to be a cashew nacho cheese. Yes, cashew. You're probably like, whoa, how does that even work? Well, it works. Believe me, you have to try this. I tested it out on 4th of July on a 7-layer dip, and people couldn't stop talking about it. So this is a good one to have in your tool belt if you're trying to impress without having to use any animal products. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. I forgot to get the scissors to open the bag, but let's see if I can just use my womanly strength or teeth, or not. Oh, here we go. Luckily, the messy table provides. So, first things first, it's a lot like my ice cream recipe where you just throw everything in the food processor, mix it up, and it makes a delicious little mashup of things. I forgot my measuring cup too. So as you can see, I am totally prepared today. So we're gonna start with the cashew, the base of all of the many plant-based cheeses. Now for some reason, raw cashews give off this cheesy flavor. I don't know how it works. I don't understand why, but I don't have questions. I just enjoy. So you're gonna start with 1.5 cups. So that was one. Let's do another half. And then put that out of the way. Then we're gonna do 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. And guess what? I didn't bring my tablespoon either. But we have a mess everywhere. Oh, where's the tablespoon? Do you see a tablespoon? Oh, there it is. Thank you. It's just one of those days, guys. So what did I say? 3 tablespoons? 1. And this is nutritional yeast, also called nooch, for those of us that, you know, like to have nicknames for things. So 3 tablespoons. We'll get this out of the way. Next up, salt. So when it comes to salt, I use it very sparingly. So the recipe called for more. I think it called for like half a teaspoon. But I'm only gonna do half of that, which will be 1/4 teaspoon. So let me try not to explode salt everywhere while I do this. So 1/4 teaspoon of, why is this so difficult? Okay, sea salt, which is supposed to be the better salt because it has a little bit more minerals and all that stuff. But again, I use salt very sparingly. Now we are gonna do garlic powder. So again, we're gonna do, where's 1/4 teaspoon, which it looks like this does not even have a 1/4 teaspoon, so I'm gonna double up. Oh wait, no, this is a 1/4 teaspoon, and apparently I can't read. See, it does exist. I need a nap, or a glass of wine, or both at the same time, if that would work. I don't think so. Now we have 2 more spices we're gonna add. Cumin, which for any Mexican themed type of dish, like you gotta have a little comino, as my mom calls it. And we're gonna do half a teaspoon of that. So 1/2. Oh man, this isn't even open. Is it? No. Oh, okay. 1/2. And lastly, well, not lastly, there's two more things. So chili powder. I feel like chili powder is optional. It says to do a pinch. I feel like you don't even need it because the last ingredient I'm gonna put is like where you get the real flavor at. But since I have a lot of it, I figured why not? Let's do it. So lastly, this bad boy right here, chipotle. You're gonna put in one, or if you're feeling a little spicy tonight, you could put two. So I'm gonna start with one, see how I like it, and then go from there. So I'll use my tablespoon to scoop it out. And you wanna get some of that sauce. You see that sauce? Adds a nice smoky flavor. So there we go. So now just put the lid on, and this time I properly secured my food processor, so we're ready to go. And I like to shake it up rather than stopping. Okay. So, I don't know how long that was, but go with how you feel. So there's two ways you can have this cheese. You can have it as a shakeable, which is like this, where it's kind of like just sand and you sprinkle it on like you would salt and pepper. But I like the spreadable version. So this is step one, shakeable. You could have it as is. Actually, let me taste. I'm gonna do one more chipotle. Yeah, one more chipotle. Because I like a little extra spice. So hopefully y'all can handle that. But it tastes fine with just one. Whoa, that one's huge. Okay, hold on. You know what? I'm just gonna put extra sauce. That peppers too. So I'll do one more tablespoon of sauce just to give it a little extra. So we'll mix that in. And while that's going, for the spreadable, you need hot water. So I'm gonna turn on my hot water tea kettle and then add that in and show y'all what that looks like. Whoa, got way stickier. Oh yeah, okay. So with the extra sauce, it already got a little bit more stickier. But now I'm gonna add the hot water, and it's gonna be like a nacho cheese spread, kind of. So let's pause and we'll check back in. Okay, so here is the finished nacho cheese using the cashews. And I'm gonna show you the recipe I'm gonna be making for my family with this cheese, but you can do so much with it. So simple, easy version, put it on top of some beans, you know, your favorite beans. It could be canned or fresh beans, and dip some tortillas in it. And it's like a kind of like bean dip, nacho dip. But I'm doing it a little different, where I'm gonna actually do a pita sandwich with it. So I'm very bad at like opening the pitas and like sticking stuff in it. They just end up falling apart. So what I do is I take the cheese and just do a nice generous layer on one side of both. And then I use these kind of like pieces of bread for a sandwich. So I'm gonna fill it with two ingredients. Pretty simple. Arugula and some tomato. Now, you can do it as is, or you can sprinkle some pepper and vinegar. So I like balsamic vinegar. I'll sometimes sprinkle that on here. But all you do is sandwich it, boom. And the cheese has so much flavor that you don't really need much else. So, bon appetit. Mmm. All right, 2 bites in. I'm gonna add some vinegar because I really like vinegar with arugula. So I would highly recommend it if you guys would like to dabble. It does get a little messier though. So it's good without the vinegar, but if you wanna, the full maximum experience, go vinegar. All right, I'm out.